For Australians, the Ashes is sort of one of those coming-of-age stories that you learn about growing up. They know that somebody burnt something somewhere, but they're not sure exactly where. The Australians beat England for the first time on English soil in London in 1882. The captain of the England team, Ivo Blythe's crusade was to regain the ashes of English cricket. They became very good friends with the Clark family. The English gentleman beat the Rupertswood team, and as a joke, Lady Clark and her friends, including her companion Florence Morphy, burnt an item. We're still not sure exactly what. Whether it was a bale, the cover of an old ball, or even a lady's veil has been suggested. And they presented this to Ivo as a joke, saying, look, you come out here on this crusade to win back the Ashes, you've won the match today, you've beaten the best here you go. This little item that they burnt, put it into an urn, has become the symbol of Anglo-Australian Test cricket.
Australia existed only geographically in 1882. We were just a bunch of colonies, and cricket was one of the few things that we actually did together. So the idea of putting together a team of players from all those different colonies and calling them Australia was quite a revolutionary idea. There's an Anglo-Australian cricket rivalry that dates back to the 1860s, when English teams first started to come to the colonies to make money playing cricket. The first team came out here in 1861. There were then sort of relatively infrequent exchanges between the two places over the next 15 to 16 years. We then play the first test match between the two countries in 1877. And in 1878, an Australian team goes to England and for the first time beats Marylebone at Lord's, bowls them out for 33 and 19 and wins in a day, which is an extraordinary attestation of colonial cricket confidence and competence. And from that springs the idea that these two teams are now quite closely matched. So the English team that comes here in 1882-3, led by the Honourable Ivo Blythe, is charged with this mission of recapturing English cricket's pride, and they win. And the Ashes are created as a physical object at Rupertswood round about Christmas Eve in 1882, after a kind of a muck-up match on the meadow adjoining the property of Sir William Clark. So we have two different ideas here. We have the symbolic Ashes and we have the physical Ashes, and they actually for a long time lead quite independent lives. The actual connection between the two, between the exchange of the symbolic trophy and the actual trophy, doesn't really happen until the 1930s. We tend to regard the two things as synonymous, but they weren't for a very long time. I know that when I've been to Rupertswood, I've found it kind of captivating. It really is like going back to Genesis. You get a feeling for both the opulence and the style in which the Clarks lived, the kind of milieu that the English cricketers joined when they came to stay on the property in 1882, the sense of conviviality and the enjoyment of one another's company. And also there's the wonderful backdrop of the love story between Ivo Blythe and Florence Morphy, who was Lady Clark's companion. The dawning of their relationship is a kind of analogue for the evolving relationship between England and Australia on the cricket field.
There's been a lot of conjecture over the years whether it was a ball, a bale, or, as I mentioned, a lady's veil. And the reason of that was the England captain, Ivo Blythe, was courting Florence Morphy, Lady Clark's companion, who was his future wife. They met during that tour. Romance blossomed, and there's been conjecture from Ivo and Flo's family that it was indeed a lady's veil that could have been burnt as a token of their romance.
Probably the original moment is the first moment, the game at the Oval in 1882, which Australia win by 7 runs. England chasing 85, get bowled out for 70, 77, and all of a sudden, English cricket has been routed on its own soil. I mean, no wonder it's such an extraordinary moment in the history of the two countries.
Look, to me, it's the pinnacle of Australian cricket and international cricket. Winning the Ashes means more to me than, say, winning the World Cup in one-day cricket. But I love Test cricket, so the Ashes is the pinnacle. As long as we win the Ashes, all's right in the world, and especially all's right with cricket.